I think I'm at one of those points in life where I'm like really good at being alone, but I know how to be alone and I like it. But do you know, like, some days you just want someone to like lay lay near you, you know what I mean? Like, just like presence, existing. And like, I used to have that and I don't really have that now. And a lot of people talk about how like we it's happening because we're just like adults and have to do adult stuff. But in a way, I don't think that's true. I don't think it's true. Cause you can have alone time and you can still do your responsibilities, but like, where's people you can just exist with? Like, where did they go? You know? And people always want to blame it on something else, and I just don't think that's true. I just don't think it's true. I think we just don't want people to see who we really are, like how we really live, or like when someone has to come over and like see you just normally, you know? And I think that I had so many people like just in and out, I feel like, in my life for a long time, that I just consistently was myself, and if people stuck around for, or just like, fuck it, if I'm boring, I'm boring, you know? And then I was really boring, I feel like, but people stuck around. But then there were people who just like left, but I was okay with that then, because I think there were so many coming in and out that it was okay at the time. And now I'm like, I think I've lost so much. That I just try to keep myself safe. Kind of like what we were talking about with, we don't want people to see how our lives really are sometimes. For example, I took my socks off last night and accidentally wasn't paying attention and threw it in my poor people humidifier. Down there, you can see it floating in the water. And, like, people would see that. I mean, they wouldn't. I'd obviously get my sock out of my poor people humidifier, but you know what I mean? But like in the past, like I'd accidentally do that and we'd just laugh about it, you know, and then we'd just lay there and either like say whatever or not say anything at all, you know, and it would just exist with people. And that just goes for like friends, relationships, like, I don't know. I think I just took a lot of things for granted at the time. But I think I'm glad I know that it's possible. I just wish people liked existing more with you. You know? Because, like, I'll be, like, just go over to someone's house and just lay down in their bed. And then they're like, I'm sorry I'm not fun. I'm sorry I'm not this. I'm sorry I gotta do... I was like, let's just exist. You know what I mean? I'm, like, a low-maintenance person. And sometimes I feel like that can be it's not as much of a good thing anymore. I feel like maybe social media does that. I don't know, but I really don't want to fall into that, because like, I like being low maintenance, because someone could be like, hey, you want to go run an errand with me? I'd be like, yeah, let me ride with you. And it's like, to be in the presence and not feel like you have to talk, you know? And like, I don't have those expectations for other people, but they have them of themselves. And so then when it happens, it's like, it ends up becoming a place where insecurities and like self-reflection happen in lives of people, more than it becomes something you can appreciate and that we can appreciate together, you know? And I think like I had that one time here from after moving. I had that one time here in 2 years. I had that this summer, and that was cool. So I hadn't had that in a long time. And it was interesting because I learned a lot about myself to have someone so alike but different, where they taught me things in just existing and just being there. So you have to always find that place of like, am I being alone because I need to be alone? Or am I being alone as a safety thing and like an isolation thing? But then I think you know yourself a lot. I think other people who know you can know you, but when they have to ask you that question, because they don't know how to be alone, they say, do you do it because of this or that? Don't let it make you question yourself, because if you didn't know that you knew what you were doing, you wouldn't have done it. I would never have done this if I didn't know that I could do it. I think it's important to challenge yourself because you realize how far you can go. But you also have to remember to rest, which is what I'm doing today, because I don't know what's wrong with me. Also, there's a lot of things that are good in life and a lot of big things. Like, really, I think right now I'm experiencing a lot of how many bad things can happen in life. Very big things, but then also really good things in very short spans of time together in a day or in a week or in a month. And like, it's been very up and down, and it's a lot of the big things in life, you know, like a lot of death, approaching death, and then like big things like people with kids or people getting married and like close people that you love, and it's just like all so up and down, because one day it's that, the next day it's that. Someone can die and then an hour later someone's getting married. Like, where's the time to feel those things, you know, before a big thing happens and you're up and down? So I don't know, reality is just a little bit weird right now, and I don't feel like I have a lot of time for my brain to pause, for it to just stop before something else happens, which again I know is life and we all experience it. I wish there was a way you could also get a phone, like a flip phone, and alternate between them, because sometimes I'm like, screw a iPhone, let me just get a flip phone and use that forever. But then I realized that so much of our stuff and our lives are on there, so I'm like, I'll just delete social media. But then I noticed that sometimes, like, your effect on where you live, I think in the past where I lived, I wouldn't need social media, but I think now, I think I needed a little more, just to bring a little bit of joy and have a connection, or, you know, laughter. I feel like there's a lot less of that now here where I am, and so social media helps, you know, like everything in moderation, but I can just find myself just in general, like, I need to be left alone. I don't want anybody to call me or text me. I just have to shut my brain off. But I want something where I feel safe, where I can go away, or if something happens, I have a way of contact, but I just don't want to see everything. Or like be an immediate, where I feel like someone immediately needs me, you know? I feel like with phones, people don't want to wait, because like I feel like back in the day it was like you had to call their home phone, and it's like if they weren't home, they'd get back to you when they got home and listen to their voicemail thing, you know what I mean? That's not now. Now it's like you know someone kind of has like their phone on them and they can just text you, and then it's like, I don't know, and that's, I think, the people pleasing in me to feel like I have to. But then I forget so easy that if I try to do that, I'll be like, okay, I don't need to do that right now because I'm doing something else and I can't fully focus on what I'm doing if I feel like that person needs me, but they don't need me. So anyways, but then I'll forget and I'll be like 3 weeks and then they think, or they get mad. My brain is, I have to do things in the moment, so I've had a hard time balancing that out, I think. And sometimes it would be nice to have a flip phone. And sometimes I do leave my phone at home, which I probably shouldn't say on the internet, but anyways. Sometimes I just get so, the 9 to 5 thing gets so mundane and repetitive, where like the creativeness in me, I feel like I'm going to explode. Like at work, I'll start drawing like wild stuff just on my checklist for work that I have to turn into my boss, like, and she probably gets so freaked out, or I don't really care, but just stuff like that. Or like I gotta like find a whiteboard and just, because I want to draw on the walls so bad or something, you know, like there's so much inside of me that needs to come out, and not bad things, it's just the good things need to come out, and I feel so trapped inside this box of an everyday routine and people that it's just the same stuff every day. And like but when the things I want to do that are creative, I feel like I don't have time, and I'll think of these things and I write them down, and then I'm like, okay, but I know the things that I have to do. They'll be like, oh no, well, you can make time. And I think that's true. Oh, wake up earlier, this or that. But if I don't get, I'm like one of those people that if I do not get, like, if I miss a night of sleep, or even like 2 nights, I get very close to a genuine psychosis, genuinely. And it's never been good. I've always been that way since I was a kid. That was a big reason I was never allowed to have sleepovers as a kid, because, or like people would do the all-nighter things, because like I'd be screwed up for like the next 3 days after that, like as a child. So like I appreciate the people that can like get 4 or 5 hours of sleep, but I don't work like that. Never have, never will. And I like to not want to do, I don't know, anyway. So yeah, I think I have COVID. But anyways, I've lived in my apartment alone for almost a year now, and that's something that's big that's coming up, and I'm trying to decide if I want to stay here or not. Mainly I think it's my own laziness. I don't want to try to get all the furniture that's giant out of my house, out of this apartment, and move it somewhere else. I don't even know who to find for that. I don't know. So I just kind of like freeze on that, because I also am like, the only reason that I developed not liking my apartment was only other people's thoughts on my apartment. They said they'd see it and they'd be like, this, like, you like this? Like, I like old houses and character and stuff like that. And I feel like you could turn this into something so cool. But then, like, I don't know, I think people don't really see it that way, the same way I see it. But if I'm happy in it, leave me alone, you know what I mean? Let me turn it into what I want to turn it into. So because of people's opinions, because it's like, this was something in my life that I got to make my first choice on, you know? And I have to live with anybody. I worked my butt off to get to where I am. And I was like, I love this, and I had a vision for it, you know? But then I let the only people at the time who were pretty close to me give their own view on it, where I slowly started to question, am I really doing good in life? And I think that if you're happy and you're content, that's all that matters, you know? And I'm always developing and changing, you know? But I have a vision, and when I have a vision, I have to make it happen. I have to make it happen. So anyways, but I'm trying to decide if this is where I want to stay in this one. Like I said, my laziness aspect. But also, I've really wanted to move away to another state very badly. Because I know I started my life over on my own, by myself. I got the tools I needed to learn, and then I did it. And so it's more of what I have now and what I know I can achieve and be happy with. I think that why not continue that? But I also have such a hard time getting close to people because of moving and change now. And so I don't know if it would be necessarily healthy right now for my own mental health to start over yet. Again, not yet. I think for this next year, I really want to focus on my relationships and my ability to connect and get outside of myself and love people and really face the fear of being hurt and just really what that looks like. Because I don't really know, but that's something that I know I need to face, and I think maybe it won't take a year. Maybe it'll take the rest of my life. I hope not, because that wouldn't make a lot of sense, but that's something I know that I want to work on. And so I don't think starting over again is something that is going to help that right now. And I think I know enough about myself to know that. But it doesn't mean that I won't ever, because I am very, I have to move around places. It doesn't bother me, but I do want to work on that in myself. And not build walls. And then I think that I'll be at the point I want to be at. So anyways, these are just thoughts that have been going through my mind. There's a lot more that are going on. A lot of good is happening right now, right? Like a lot of good that I've been able to witness, and just what I've tried to do and bring here and implement and like see needs or something. I don't really know. It's kind of happening right now, and I'm kind of finding my place, and also watching the people I care about develop into what they're want. Yeah. So anyways, I don't know where I was going with that, but these are the things that are happening. right now. And look at that, 20 minutes. So I'm gonna spend the rest of the day. That's a mystery. Ha!